During the 2016 presidential election, liberal filmmaker and activist Michael Moore had a prediction that Democratic strategists didn't like one bit. Moore predicted that Donald Trump would defeat Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, winning Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, a prediction that proved to be spot on. And now in the 2022 midterms, Moore has another stark prediction. He believes that voters, furious because of the U.S. Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, will bring about a massive blue tsunami, so to speak. Here's a look at Moore speaking on the matter with Bill Maher late last month.
But now there's very high enthusiasm for a midterm election. So what do you think is going to happen?
Before I say what I think is going to happen, I need to preface it by telling everybody who's watching that everybody needs to show up, and you need to bring 5 to 10 people with you on election day. That is critical. That's a lot of people, but make it, bring beer, make it a fun thing, have a party afterwards, whatever. But I honestly believe, Bill, and you and I are two well-known pessimists, I think, and I have never felt this optimistic. And I was on your show here, what's now 6 years ago, when I said that Trump was going to win, and the audience booed me, and you stood up for me. I was just saying I'm out, I'm around. I'm from the Midwest. I think I had a pretty good sense of what was going to happen. I think the opposite's going to happen this time. I think that there is going to be such a landslide against the traitors, especially the 147 Republicans who just hours after the insurrection voted to not certify the elected president of the United States, Joe Biden. And I think that there is going to be so many people coming out to vote. I want to thank the Supreme Court for reminding women that they are in fact second-class citizens and taking their rights away like this. There are so many, I don't know if you've seen the list of states, starting with Kansas, which, by the way, 60% of the people in Kansas a couple months ago showed up to say, no, we want abortion legal and we want it in our Constitution. We want to stay there.
Despite a prediction of a blue wave in 2022, Moore was critical of the Democratic Party during his interview with The Guardian on October 23rd. Moore, who has been discussing the midterms in a series of articles for his website he calls Mike's Midterm Tsunami Truth, believes that millions of Americans will be voting Democratic in November, not because of Democratic Party organizers and strategists, but in spite of them. Moore told The Guardian, "The biggest hurdle to what I'm doing with this series is the Democratic Party. It's very disheartening, and it would make even me question how we're going to pull this off. The Democratic Party consultants are feeding lines that are so lame and weak. They don't go for the jugular like a Republican would. It doesn't inspire people at home. We stand here on the precipice of a very important election, and our greatest enemy could be the Democratic Party itself. Everyone who does care and feels like our democracy could be hanging on by a thread has to do something in these last 3 weeks," he said. Moore also had plenty to say about the GOP in his Tsunami of Truth as well, reminding readers that despite all the ways that the media tends to make the American right seem massively powerful, they're really just a big bunch of losers. As Moore explains it, Republicans have lost the popular vote in 7 of the 8 last elections, only because of the slave states' demand for the Electoral College and the Republicans' #1 job of gerrymandering and voter suppression. Do we even have to still deal with their misogyny, their destruction of planet Earth, their love of guns and greed, and their laser-focused mission to bury our democracy, he said. So if we are seeing a swing away from Trump-style Republicans in Kansas and Idaho, there may be reason to believe that the combination of Trump fascist nutters on the ballot, the revelations from the January 6th committee hearings, the various investigations into Trump, and last but definitely not least, the fact that the Supreme Court put abortion back on the ballot, could lead to the type of voting tsunami Moore is predicting. Stay tuned for updates, and thank you for watching Raw Story TV. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com, stay informed, and tap below to take action by liking, subscribing, and joining all those who like their news raw.